Coming up, getting a grip on the supply chain issues. We talk with Bill Wappler of Surgere. This is Balance of Power on Bloomberg Television and Radio. This is Balance of Power on Bloomberg Television and Radio. I'm David Weston. Supply chain issues aren't getting any better, and they look like they're likely to extend well into next year now. Welcome now someone with his finger on the pulse of this problem. Bill Wappler is CEO of Surgere, a company that uses the Internet of Things to track shipments across industries from automotive to aerospace to retail. So, Bill, thank you so much for being with us. I tried to describe your company. I didn't do a good enough job. First of all, start out with what it is exactly you do that gives you such a unique vantage point on the supply chain.
Certainly. Hi, David, and it's great to join you. Thank you. We are a software company, but we generally use a number of very advanced technologies, whether it's satellite positioning, RFID, Bluetooth, a lot of different technologies that support our ability to tell all of our clients what they have and where it is. And that can be on a global basis, on a supply chain basis, or within four walls.
So, Bill, using that rather special way of getting a sense of what's in the supply chain, what is it telling you right now about where the problems are?
Well, it's telling us the problem's pretty big. We do quite a bit of business across many of the automotive manufacturers and a great deal of their suppliers. We're also involved with heavy equipment. We're involved with food. We're involved with pharmaceutical and a lot of other industries. And basically what we're finding is that everyone is working desperately to solve the problem. But the problem is a function of a lot of factors coming together at a single time. You know, I'm often asked the question of, is this a COVID problem? And the answer is certainly it started with COVID, but it is no longer a COVID problem. I'm also asked whether it's a transportation problem. We seem to be talking a lot about ports, trucks, trains, and how those aren't functioning now. But quite frankly, it's much more complex than that.
So are there particular bottlenecks that scream out at you as you look at your dashboard?
Well, there are. Certainly, we're looking at the ports first. And we see that the ability to offload is problematic in several ways. First of all, they've offloaded a number of containers that now are being stacked, in some cases 5 high, and in the past it was only 3 high. We're seeing fewer and fewer chassis on the road that are specialized truck trailers that allow for the cartage of sea containers. There are fewer of those. And the rail, as you might imagine, is fighting the same problem. So really what we're seeing is that the supply chain, which is a lot more than just transportation, right? The supply chain changed dramatically during COVID, where people started to work from home. Our lifestyles changed dramatically. And as a result, so did our purchasing habits. So along with that, we're at home and we say, you know, we have a couch that we think should be replaced. Let's do that now. Then as policy, we brought a lot of into investment by our country into our society. That freed up a lot of available cash. And now the problem starts because the folks that are at home have now increased the amount of volume from Asia into the United States and have completely then changed and converted the what's traveling across the ocean and into the ports.
So, Bill, from your perspective, does that all make this something of a one-off? Once we get this thing fixed, will it stay fixed?
Yeah, that's the third question I'm often asked. Here's what I see. I see that we should be very patient coming into the holidays. I don't believe that everything we would like to have on the shelves will be there in time. I see mid-year that we're going to start running back to normal. There are some considerations that could change everything. One of them, as an example, is that we, as everyone knows, we have a longshoreman agreement that is going to be reevaluated and negotiated soon. If that goes well, that will help. If it goes poorly, we're all going to be disadvantaged just simply because of the delay. We have, though, a lot of parts, particularly for automotive, aerospace, and some of those primary industries that are still waiting. And many of those industries function on a just-in-time basis. So for them to ramp up and then all of us get past some of those products that are now past their useful time and they have to be reordered, replenished, it could take a while. And some of the folks that I talk to are expecting really third quarter of next year before we start normalizing again.
Wow. That's getting worse. Longshoremen, do they have just the catbird seat right now?
Yeah, they really do, don't they? We know that longshoremen are good folks. They work hard, and they've been doing a great service to our country. And we all have to appreciate that we receive our goods basically because there are folks that are helping us through that exchange from the ship to the port to the truck. And it's a wonderful thing. However, clearly we can't allow this to sustain for too long during those negotiations. I hope they go well, but it could delay us another quarter, if not even more.
Wow, that's sobering. Thank you so much, Bill. Really helpful to have you with us, whether it's good news or bad news. That's Bill Wappler. He's Surgere CEO.